And the recording is on, I believe. Yeah, it's on. Okay. So welcome everyone once again. I'm Marcel, also here Shantri, and I believe Robbie is here also. And I believe Tommy is here also. Let me just check. No, Tommy isn't
Tommy
here.
is not here.
Robbie is here and Shantri
Yeah,
is
I'm here. Hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
All right, perfect. So as I said in this session, I will create a breakdown. Please start drawing on my screen. Thank you, appreciate it. So as I said in this session, I will break down the trades. Actual one trade that I took and second opportunity from yesterday that I missed. And I will track every criteria. I will tell you why did I enter exactly there, why did I use 4.5 pip stop loss. So I will just simply break it down. After a breakdown, I will create a forecast for this week ahead. I will create a top analysis from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. I will tell you the usual expectation order flow that we can expect on this week. Actually, every single order flow, every single expectation order flow that I created on last week in the markups, for example, have played out perfectly. So the higher time frame is behaving exactly how we expected it to do. And let me just start this session. Let me just start the session with the breakdown. Okay. First of all, I will explain the fractal conformations on this live chart. So as I said yesterday in the markup updates, fractal conformations has happened, right? So every single time frame was fractally confirmed from the daily, going over the 4 hour, going over the 15 minute, the 1 minute, every single time frame was fractally confirmed. Let me just tell you what exactly did I mean by this fractally confirmed time frame, saying why was I forcing a trade right there, but I forced it. And why did I open a position with 4.5 pip stop loss? Because it's really, really simple. As you can see, technically, this occasion happens really, really, really rarely. This happens really rarely, like once in 2 or 3 months. So first of all, here was a supply zone up here. As you can see, it has been tapped in September. This daily supply tap has been tapped in, this daily supply has been tapped in September. The supply broke structure to the downside here. Then after the liquidity creation, the liquidity has been swept into the supply. Then after fractal conformations happened, but not as beautifully as it happened here on the current situation, because 4 hour change character somewhere around here after the supply mitigation, then a 50-minute zone and the 4 hour zone boson has not been mitigated. So technically price just kept dropping and dropping without the same single confirmation, but it happened differently this time because the daily broke structure again to the downside here. The breakout structure has happened from this daily supply zone. As you can see, this was the origin of the breakout structure right here. Price swept liquidity here was liquidity on the 4 hour chart. Also, price swept this liquidity in the daily zone. Then the daily zone gave a reaction, huge retracement. Okay, so the daily is following the same structure. It doesn't need confirmation on the daily chart because, daily is still bearish. It's still following a bearish structure, reacting on supply zones, blah, 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 over and over again. So daily supply zone mitigation has happened and the rejection has also happened. After this daily supply zone mitigation right here, as you can see, this was the daily supply zone mitigation. Strong reversal happened on the 4 hour chart, and the last recent demand zone has been mitigated on the 4 hour. Mitigation, retracement couldn't create a new breakout structure, so it means that the weakness has been shown up in the bullish trend because price couldn't create a new breakout structure, couldn't break the supply zone, meaning we could find the weakness in the bull trend on the 4 hour. Then after this, price just simply flipped this demand zone. As you can see, the flip of the demand has happened from this supply zone. There's the only inefficiency between this candle and between this candle. There's no inefficiency. The only inefficiency can be found between this candle and this candle. So there was a perfect inefficient gap for us that caused the flip with body closure. Okay, what else can we see? We can see that price built up liquidity, perfect liquidity, just below the inefficient gap, just below the supply zone. So there was liquidity below the inefficient gap, there was liquidity below the supply zone. That has caused the flip, and after a strong change of character on the 4 hour chart. And technically that's it. Price created this liquidity, price created the inefficiency, formed the supply. Only step left is to wait for the mitigation of this supply, because the daily turned to bearish, 4 hour turned to bearish. We have to wait for the confirmation of this 4 hour zone. If this 4 hour zone is being confirmed with a 50-minute chart, so technically if price mitigates this 4 hour zone and after mitigation price changes character on the 15-minute chart, then the 15-minute and the 4 hour, the 4 hour will be confirmed by the 15-minute. 15-minute can be confirmed by what? I'm asking you guys. If you can know the answer, if you know the answer, please raise your hand. 15-minute time frame can be confirmed by what? By which time frame? Michael?
By 1 minute. 1 minute
Exactly.
time frame confirms 50 minutes.
Exactly. Thank you for the answer. 50 minutes can be confirmed by the 1 minute. So, daily confirm, daily is bearish. After this, 4-hour change of character. If the 4-hour zone is getting mitigated and the 50 minute creates a change of character to the downside, then the 4-hour zone will confirm again. If the 50 minute zone is getting mitigated, that causes a change of character and changes character on 1 minute, then the 50 minute and 1 minute will be confirmed also. And all of the freaking time frames will be lined up together. And in this situation, if all of the time frames starting from the daily, going through the 4-hour, 50 minute, 1 minute, lines up together, every single fractal confirmation happens at the same time, you want to make sure that you will be in the trade. You want to make sure that you won't be missed out from the trade and you will be in the trade at any fucking cost. And that's why I forced the position right there, because, as I said, here was daily supply. Here was the daily supply mitigation. Here was the 4-hour supply mitigation that caused the 4-hour change of character to the downside. Perfectly mitigated. Okay, switching down to the 15-minute time frame. Let me just show you what else happened. And this bitch is melting without me, melting down straight to my TP. Happens, but so here was the 4-hour zone mitigation, right? So if the 4-hour zone is getting mitigated, we have to wait for a 15-minute confirmation, right? Because after every single 4-hour zone mitigation, we have to wait for a 15-minute change of character, because that's the fractally confirmed time frames. And opening a position after a 4-hour mitigation based on a 1-minute change of character is super risky, extremely risky, and you will be fucked right away. So that's why we are waiting for a 15-minute change of character after a 4-hour zone mitigation. So 4-hour zone mitigation happened, 15-minute change of character happened right away after the 4-hour zone mitigation. Because as you can see, this was the last recent high point that pro structure here to the upside with a body closure. So breakout structure happened here. After a breakout structure, price changed the last recent character's low point. So change of character came into the market. After this was the high point. The supply zone that changed the character, right? Because as you can see, this is a weak zone, perfect weak zone. Question again, I will make this session a bit interactive. Why are we using a weak zone right here? Why is it a weak zone? Why did we use this weakest supply zone? If you can answer, if you know the answer, please raise your hand. Why did we use this weak as the supply zone right here? And why didn't we use the full body? Guys?
Because on the week resting orders.
Yeah, but more explanation. Why did we use the weak? It's literally the basics of this whole strategy. Why did we use this weak, guys? Come on, please be more interactive.
I think the week is like 50% of the candle. That's why we use just only the wick, and also the body itself already mitigated from the second candle.
Can you mark it? Which one candle you mean?
Wait a minute. Already mitigated by this. If we talk,
that's not the correct answer. That's not the reason I'm looking for. Come on, guys. It's in the PDF. It's in the video course. It's every single.
The previous candle.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. And it was Kaizan, please.
Because the wick mitigate the previous candle.
Thank you. Exactly. That's the correct answer. Thank you, guys. Yeah, we use this wick right here because the wick, the candle is high. So the wick is higher than the previous candle's high point. So the previous candle has been already mitigated right here. All of this candle has been mitigated by the following week. And the inefficiency kicked in from this week because this week took out the last recent high point, took out the last recent candle. Then it went down and the inefficiency kicked in from here. There is inefficiency between the week and between the last candle. So there was the inefficient gap. That's why we are using these candles. It's straight up in the PDF. If you can't remember why we are using weak zones, please check the PDF, watch the video course again, because this is literally the basics. So we use the weak zone. Please mute yourselves, guys. Thank you. So we use the weak zone. After this, price created a swing change of character. This was a swing low point. Technically, the character changing movement here and here started from the swing low point. This is how the structure, this is how the structure looks like. This was the swing low. Swing low has been changed character. Okay. After this, I said yesterday, so price was somewhere around here. Yeah, somewhere around here when I created the markups. And I said that price has a high chance to sweep this liquidity. I really said that the price has a chance to sweep this liquidity, come up to this supply. And if it comes up to this supply and creates confirmation, I will be entering in a trade. I wrote it down in the markups. I wrote it down in the markup updates. So it was given to you. I gave sorry, I gave it to you that what are the instructions for this chart? What can we expect? What will we do? So price actually swept this liquidity. Perfect liquidity line built up for the character changing in weak zone. Price came up, mitigated the weak zone, wicked the ball a little bit, didn't close the ball, didn't close the ball in the 1 minute either. So it wasn't broken. It was not even a 1 minute break of this supply zone, mitigated the full zone and created a V-shape recovery on the 15-minute chart. As you can see, literally perfect V-shape recovery. And as you can see, the long movement right here was literally caused by efficient candles. The only inefficient gap can be found here, but every single candle after this was efficient. So these are efficient candles, slow movements, really slow movements to the upside on the 1 minute chart. It looks like this. After the mitigation of this zone, technically the strong movements kicked in again because downside movements are much stronger at this region than the upside movements. And yeah, let me just switch to the 1 minute chart and explain the criteria around this trade. So as I said, 15-minute change character, right? There was swing change of character, there was liquidity for the character changing zone, everything was there. So what did I explain earlier? If the 15-minute zone is getting mitigated, I mean the 15-minute zone changes character and the 15-minute zone that change character is getting mitigated, what are we waiting for? We are waiting for a 1 minute change of character. And that's it. If the 1 minute change of character happens, we want to be in the trade because technically this occasion happens pretty fucking rarely. I mean, when the daily 4-hour, 15-minute, 1 minute gives the same confirmation, same fractally confirmed time frames with all of the character changing liquidity sweeping confirmations, it happens like once in 3 months or once in half a year. So you have to grab it at any fucking cost, I believe. I mean it. You have to grab it at any fucking cost when you can see this on your screen. So 15-minute zone being mitigated. Okay, let me just zoom in. 15-minute zone being mitigated. As you can see, there was not even a break on the 1 minute chart. After this, the 15-minute zone created a V-shape recovery and created the first change of character here on the 1 minute, second change of character here on the 1 minute also. So strong change of character. So technically we have the character changing zone up here, but this movement right here, this rejection right here, reacted on the less recent 5-minute demand zone. Yeah, it's here, sorry. So it reacted on the less recent 5-minute demand zone, and the less recent 5-minute demand zone is right here. Demand, switching back to the 1 minute chart, sorry, bear with me. Okay, here I am. So this movement reacted on the less recent 5-minute demand zone, and this was the less recent 5-minute that caused the break of structure here. It caused the 5-minute BOS. It caused the less recent inefficiency in the 5-minute chart, and this movement after the mitigation reacted on this demand zone, created a retracement and flipped this demand. So that's why I wrote it here that here was a 5-minute flip because this 1 minute zone flipped the 5-minute zone. So technically this was liquidity. This can be considered as liquidity. There's no inefficiency, there's no momentum, there's literally nothing on these candles, but still this is a valuable character changing zone. But this is more valuable. This has more value because it flipped the 5-minute zone, it flipped the freaking 5-minute zone with huge inefficiency, with huge momentum. Technically the only momentum can be found above this zone is right here, caused by this candle, but it just changed character on 1 minute random candles. This one right here flipped the 5-minute zone, so it will be much stronger. So I will be expecting a reaction on this zone rather than this one. If this would have created liquidity, something like this, then this would have invalidated this zone down here, and this would have became the valid zone because if this zone is part of the liquidity, then this zone will be able to hold price. This zone wasn't part of the liquidity, so it was much stronger than the previous zone because it flipped the 5-minute zone, created liquidity, swapped liquidity, and yeah, there was actually no liquidity for the zone. We can't really consider this as liquidity because it was equal candles next to each other. The only liquidity that we could consider was maybe right here, but I didn't really consider this as liquidity. But one more good thing next to this trade is that can you see how price approached this zone? So can you see the momentum right here? Can you see how big momentum it created? And can you see how slow the momentum was right here and how slowly it approached this zone? Sorry guys, just a minute. I have to grab a water. So really just a minute. Okay, I'm back. So can you see how slowly it approaches on? So you can notice the same manner over and over again that short cancellation, short movements are much stronger with huge momentum. Longs are really, really slow upside movements. Look at the strong momentum on the downside and look at the pullback movements to the upside. Longs are much, much, much weaker at this region, and it showed the sign that the longs are weaker than the shorts. Short created much stronger momentum, much stronger inefficiency, literally everything that we needed. Okay, so the criteria tracking on this trade. I will track the criteria with you guys. So let's count the criteria together because I want you to track the criteria. Okay, I will just write the base here. First, second, third, fourth. All right. So base criteria. What was the first base criteria for this trade? If you know the answer, please write it down to the chat. You can use the chat right now. What was the first base criteria for this trade? Higher time frame mitigation, exactly. First base criteria for this trade was the higher time frame mitigation. Second base criteria, what was the second? Liquidation, exactly. Third, what was the third base criteria? Inefficiency, perfect. Fourth, what is the fourth base criteria for this trade? Pro trend. And why did I count this as a pro trend? Simply because I just explained that every single time frame turned to bearish. Daily was bearish, 4 hour was bearish, 15 minute was bearish, 1 minute was bearish. Every single time frame turned to bearish. Of course, I'm going to count the pro trend criteria. If all of the time frames are fractally confirmed bearish, every single time frame is literally bearish, I will count the pro trend criteria, of course. So let's check the variable criteria. What's the first variable criteria? So the fifth criteria for this trade. Yeah, you could say flip, you could say change of character. Both are good. I will count the flip because technically it was a 5-minute flipping trade. Sixth, what is the sixth criteria for this trade? Yeah, that's it, V-ship. Perfect. Seventh criteria for this trade. 50% mitigation, exactly. More than 50%. So I will just write it like this. So the full zone mitigation technically happened. I will just simply write full zone mitigation. 8 criteria. Fucking liquidity target. Yeah. Let me just show you the liquidity target. So there was literally loads of liquidity target everywhere on the fucking chart. Liquidity target, liquidity target. These are lower time frame liquidity targets, right? 1 minute liquidity targets. Higher time frame liquidity target is right here. Higher time frame liquidity target, I mean the less higher time frame liquidity target is this one because this is a weak low. And this is the last weak low that you can find in the charts, and this is less recent liquidity target. There's this perfect liquidity that I was targeting actually yesterday, and you know, lots of liquidities on the lower time frame too. So yeah, liquidity target is the 8 criteria. All right. 9. Corrective pullback, strong pull. Exactly. I can't write. Corrective pullback, strong pro movement. Next one. What is the 10th criteria? Not coming from unmitigated zone. Exactly. Did I leave something out? I believe no, because there was no come by liquidation. You know, the come by liquidation was missing. It did not happen because, you know, there was no liquidity for the 1 minute zone right here. Okay. So these are the criteria. Technically an A++++ setup. So this is the best possible setup that you can imagine. This is literally the best possible setup that you can imagine in your fucking lifetime. You won't see a better setup than this. This is the A+++++ setup that you want to take at any fucking cost. Why? Because daily 4 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, everything was bearish. Daily 4 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, every single time frame was confirmed by the change of characters and by fractal confirmations. Every single time frame lined up together. Best fucking setup that you could ever imagine. And that was the setup that I was waiting for like 2 or 3 weeks. You know, I was waiting for this setup for 2 weeks straight. Fuck it. So yeah, let's just talk about that. Why did I use full body right here. Why did I use the full body entry here with 4.5 pip stop loss? I just literally explained it. That you want to be in this trade at any fucking cost. So I used the full body. I used the 50% also, and I used both of the positions with 1% risk. So I didn't have the risk. I used risk split entry, but I didn't have the risk. I used 1% here, 1% here. I was risking literally 2% on this position because this setup, as I said, happens like once in 3 or 6 months. So you want to be in this trade. And yeah, it tagged me in. It tagged me in on the full body. Was it wrong to choose the little big candle before? This one. Yeah, I wouldn't choose that. I wouldn't choose that candle. That is so tiny. That is so tiny, it didn't create anything. Like literally the momentum kicked in from this candle. As you can see, this is a momentum candle. Why is it a momentum candle? This is wiki. This small candle up here created a wiki candle. This candle right here created 3 or 2 momentum candles with no wicks. As you can see on these 2 candles, 2 following candles, there were no wicks, meaning this candle caused the real push into the market with real inefficiency, with real momentum. So yeah, these are momentum candles caused by this order block right here. So yeah, I used the risk split, 1%, 1%. I was tagged in the trade right here. Yeah, it melted down immediately. And the reason I was so sure of that this will work is simply because, of course, besides all of these criteria, besides all that this was an A++++ setup, besides all of these facts, I was so sure about this setup because price approached this zone really fucking slowly. Look at this slow movement. It was literally building up liquidity for the lower time frame. So it was a seconds liquidity and it was approaching this zone so slowly. And if it happens, then it has a high chance to be reversing on the literal body of the candle and not on the 50%. But I wanted to make sure if I was tagged in on the body, if I was tagged in on the 50%, then I would have been in the position with 2%. I was willing to lose 2% for this trade. I was willing to lose 2% of my capital for this trade. This is the moment when I'm willing to lose even 10% for the trade, like literally. Yeah. So I was tagged in. It broke structure to the downside, you know, broke the swing structure, swept the liquidity also. Yeah, it was a perfectly running trade. Then after it created this swing low, created more liquidity here. As you can see, this was more liquidity to target. Then it came back up to the 5-minute. This was the swing 5-minute zone that has caused this new breakout structure here, the liquidity sweep, the liquidity creation, everything. It came back to this 5-minute zone and created a strong change of character. As you can see, here was the first character changing movement, second character changing movement, so a strong character changing movement. And this was the zone that caused inefficiently character changing zone. And yeah, I did settlement order right here. It was 5 minutes. It was 5 minutes after the session closed. It was 5 minutes after the session closed, but it was it was literally perfect. It was a perfect opportunity. And as I said, you want to be in this trade and you want to ride it down to the hell. And yeah, I was trying to enter here. It didn't tag me in. It tagged me on the trading view, but it didn't tag me on the actual metaphor. Yeah, it was like 0.0.1 pip, which had actually left me out, but it is what it is. I was still in this trade. It was running pretty well. And I took some partials right here. I took some partials right here on the breakout structure to the downside. And sorry, let me just remove this zone from here. And I believe at this point, at this partial point, it was a 1-to-8 risk-reward ratio. So yeah, I booked 1.8 risk-reward ratio partial right here. Then after it reversed to the upside, and it would have taken me out and break even at this trade. So, you know, but it has not been opened by me because it was a missed trade for me, but it would have been a break even on this trade. Yeah, I took a partial and my stop loss was right here at this region. Or no, actually, no, I didn't even trade my stop loss. No, I kept my stop loss and break even. Yeah, I didn't even trade this stop loss because I wanted to make sure that I will stay in the trade. But yeah, it swept me out on literally break even hours or minutes after. And yeah, I took a partial 1-to-8 risk-reward ratio right here. It was worth it for me, but actually I'm pretty fucking disappointed with this because it had to swap more liquidity. It had to come up once again to the 50-minute zone. So as you can see, oh my God, where is it? Here it is. So it had to come up once again to a 50-minute zone right here to this 50-minute X ring to sweep this liquidity right here. swapped this liquidity, created a 1 minute entry opportunity here in Asian session. And guess what happened after? Melting. It's fucking melting down. Just the way I told you it will melt. I was 100% that it will melt down. But it had to sweep more liquidity. It happened, sweep me out, took partial at 1 to 8. It could have been a 1 to 50 trade. Still, it will be still running. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I was, I'm not trading Asian session. I wasn't been able to catch this opportunity right here. This was the mitigation of that 15-minute zone that I explained. And after mitigation, price just simply changed character right here, created this flip zone, literally this zone, flip that zone. Here was a supply, entry point, and literally with 0 drawdown. So yeah, it would have been a really fucking good entry opportunity in Asian session. I'm still happy with it. I'm still happy with this 1 to 8 restore ratio. That's it. That's it technically. That's it about this trade. Everything understandable around this trade, yes or no? Everything clean. Okay, it is. What about a simple continuation scaling trade in the 1 minute after the first trade on the 1 minute OB, which had liquidity below before the 5 minute zone tap? Please remove the drawings, please, guys. What do you mean, chilling markets? Let me just zoom in and mark it for me, please. Can you mark it for me, please, chilling markets? All right, so you can't. Can you explain your target? I was targeting the exact same target. If you're following the markups, if you're following the updates, if you're following the forecasts and videos, you will know my target point. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you it once again. If you would be following the markups, the forecast videos, then you will be knowing my target point also, because I explained it like literally 10 times. That what will I target after this fractal confirmation. So yeah, that's it. That's it about this trade. And it's time to break down the chart. Remove everything from here. And yeah, just one more quick note. Just one more quick note that I took. This was the 3rd trade in this month. So literally, this is the worst trading month in my lifetime. It's the worst trading month so far. I mean, not in terms of chilling markets. Please stop it. I mean, not in terms of restore ratio, but in terms of opportunities. There were actually only 3 high probability setups in New York session. 3 high probability setups in New York session so far in this month. 2 break-evens. I took 2 break-evens. 3rd one is technically a break-even too, but I took a 1 to 8 partial, So yeah, literally 3 trades, 2 break-evens, 1 to 8 partial. That's the performance for this month so far. Not really good setups. Price isn't delivering the best price action in this month so far. Comparing, for example, to the July's month where I booked over 100 restore ratio, this 1 to 8 restore ratio is literally nothing. But it is what it is. I'm still, I'm just telling you this because you have to learn how to stay disciplined and patient. Because why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I literally took only 3 fucking trades in this month so far. I wasn't happening on every single low probability shitty setup. I wasn't staying impatient. I wasn't forcing setups. No, I was still waiting for my edge. I was still waiting for my edge to show up. My edge showed up 3 times. Only fucking 3 times in this month. 3 fucking times. And when it showed up, I pulled my trigger. When it didn't show up, I was staying away and I was literally spending days without trading. I was spending so fucking many sessions without trading in this month so far, but it is what it is. It's still better than risking your capital, losing your capital, and forcing yourself into shitty setups. It's still fucking better than doing bad setups. It's still better than if the market is rewarding for you rewarding you for shitty setups. And that's it. You have to learn how to stay in discipline like this. And some of the members are in the group are still doing this. Like, for example, there's a MILF Vanilla Forex. That guy literally opened this exact same 3 positions as I did. That's it. If there are high probability setups on your screen, you're going to enter. If there's no setup on your screen for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month straight, you're not going to enter. You're going to stay the fuck away from the market, and you're going to only enter when your edge appears on your screen. And that's it. You have to understand this. Staying patient is really, really difficult. Staying patient is really difficult, but either way, you're going to learn. I paid the price. I paid the price in the past. I was impatient and burnt up loads of challenges. I burnt up loads of funded, personal accounts. I even blew up funded accounts. Actually, I blew up like more than 15 challenges in like 3 months because I was staying impatient. I was staying really fucking impatient. I was forcing setups. I paid the price. I learned the lesson. Now I'm staying patient. I'm not here to blow up my real account, right? I just want to make money. And if I can make like 1 to 10 restore ratio in a month, then it will be a 1 to 10 restore ratio a month. If I can make 1 to 2 restore ratio in a month, then it will be 1 to 2 restore ratio a month. If I'm making more than 100 restore ratio, like I did in July, because that was a really good month for me. Of course, there were really high probability setups on my screen. There were really fucking good high probability setups on my screen. I booked more than 100 restore ratio on that month. That's it. If this month stays the way it is, so at 1 to 8 restore ratio with partial, then I will be still happy for it, because I'm not here to fucking force the setups. I'm not here to chase the money. I'm not here to chase the setups. I'm here to enjoy the whole thing. I'm here to enjoy the progress. And if I'm enjoying the progress, if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and if I'm staying patient, the market will reward me either way, sooner or later, but it will reward me. Everything is a matter of time. You just have to stay patient. You just have to practice how to stay patient. And yeah, it's really difficult. It's really, really difficult, especially when you're in a challenge. For example, if you're taking a challenge, it's really fucking hard, to stay patient, to only wait for the high probability setups, because you want to complete the challenge in days. You want to complete in 1 day. But why do you want to complete in 1 day when you have fucking 30 days to complete the challenge? Why do you want to complete in 1 day? For your fucking ego. You want to complete in 1 day, in 1 week, because of your ego. Because if you complete in 1 day, you will believe that, oh my God, I'm a fucking good trader. I completed, I killed the challenge in 1 day, in 1 week. What a good fucking trader I am. No, you're not a good trader if you're completing it 1 day. You're a good trader if you can show consistency. You're a good trader if you can show discipline, if you can show patience over and over again, month by month, week by week, day by day. You won't be a good trader if you complete the challenge in 1 day. You will be a good trader if you can keep a funded account for months, for years. And if you can stay consistent, you can stay consistent. You can achieve consistent profit over and over again. And if that's not fucking 8% that will complete the challenge for you, then it is what it is. You will be completing it sooner or later. If you can achieve 5% monthly, just imagine you're achieving 5% monthly, right? That's not enough for a funded account. That's not enough for a funded account, because you have to achieve like 8%. 8% is new meta. A year ago, 10% was a meta. But right now you have to achieve 8% for a funded account, right? Yeah, 5% is not enough. But if you can achieve that 5% consistently, month by month, then you will be making progress. And for example, like after 3 or 6 months, you will be able to achieve the 8%, the desired 8% finally. Just because you stay disciplined, just because you stay consistent with your profits and not gambling. And if you can stay consistent with your profits, then you will make progress on the long run. If you're consistently making profit week by week, month by month, on the long run, you're going to make more and more and more. It's going to be like 1% more each month. But if you're giving up, just because, You can't complete the challenge. You're trying to complete the challenge in like for half a year, and you can't achieve that fucking 8%. Who the fuck cares? Stop feeding your fucking ego. Stop feeding your ego. You're not trading for your ego. You're trading for your literal own life. You're trading for results. You're trading for the long run. You're not trading to feed your ego. You're not making challenges to send these screenshots to the group, to send these screenshots to your friends that, haha, I completed the challenge in 1 week. No one gives a shit. I mean, yeah, we give a shit because it's a really huge achievement if you can complete the challenge. But literally, no one gives a shit. The only person that's going to give a shit will be you. It will be yourself. And you have to make this for the results, for the beauty of the journey, for the profits that you're going to make on the long term. And no, not consistent 100 risk-reward ratios, the profit target that you want to achieve on the long run. That's literally bullshit. That 1 month for me where I achieved more than 100% was like literally my the best training month in my life. No, consistent 10, 20, 30 risk-reward ratios, month by month by month by month. That's what's going to make you wealthy. That's what's going to change your life. And that's why you have to leave your ego behind. If you're trading for your ego, if you're completing challenges just for your ego, if you're doing all of this shit for your ego, you have to change all of your mentality. So yeah, I don't know why did I start to talk about this. You know, the question always drives me away. But I have to grab 1 more cup of water because I drank everything. Here I am. I got 5% and I'm using extensions to get the remaining 3% to complete phase 1. Perfect. In trading, slow is fast, fast is endgame. Exactly. This is actually a good quote. I want to win the bread competition here, but if you do, who the fuck cares? Yeah. I took a challenge in the past, and for 10K, I took like 3 to 4 trades in the first phase by risking 0.5% trade, but it was not enough to pass in 30 days because my risk reward was less than 6, and I just failed to pass first phase because I was risking 0.3%. If I would risk 1%, I would have to pass the challenge. I would have passed the challenge. I ended the challenge in profit, but not enough to pass it. Yeah, but you showed consistency. You were aware of your skill. You were aware of your own skills, and you were aware of that you're capable to complete the challenge. All right. So back to the breakdown. So what do we do before every single breakdown? What do we do before every single analysis, chart breakdown, forecast, blah, blah, blah? News, exactly. Here are the news for today. As you can see, there are no high impact news coming for this day. So it will be safe to trade. Technically, short breakdown because session opens soon. Soon I want to eat something before it starts. And short breakdown, go short. Goodbye, guys. Have a nice day. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, technically the plan for today is to look for 5 minutes / 15 minute zone taps and wait for those opportunities. You see, here's the primer of the fractal conformations 4-hour chart. So deep forecast. Thanks, Marshall. Any fucking time. So yeah, here's the 4-hour chart. I won't break it down again because I broke it down literally in the, recap. And yesterday, technically, price just swept the liquidity into the 4-hour zone. After the 4-hour zone sweep, fractal conformations happened here. And then it's melting. This will be the first target point with the shorts. You know, this demand zone on the 15-minute chart. If this demand zone is getting flipped, then the second target point will be the swing low point. But I've already explained this in several times before on this week. I explained it in the weekend forecast. I explained it in the Monday's markup video. I was explaining it in yesterday's markups too. So, you know, everything is being explained on the 4-hour chart so far. But for the 15-minute, we can create a perspective still. You know, we don't have to talk about this region because I just literally broke it down, what has happened here. Let me just remove everything here and keep it a fresh perspective. Now I will keep it there. So price is reacting on this supply zone. That's what gave the less piece of confirmation for price to melt. Alrighty. There's this 15-minute demand that I will mark, but we know that this demand will be broken because, you know, it's purely part of the liquidity. Okay, so and this demand has been flipped finally. You know, I said yesterday that if this demand will hold price, then we can expect a deeper mitigation of the 4-hour zone. Remember that I was saying this? Yeah, I said this. If this demand can hold, then I said that price has a chance to mitigate the higher percentage of the 4-hour supply. If this demand is getting flipped, then we will begin a free fall. Remember me saying this? Yeah, I said it. What happened? Price flipped this zone. What has happened after the flip? Free fall. That's it. Flip has happened from this supply zone up here. So this is the flipping supply zone, flipping 15-minute supply zone that has caused the flip of this variable demand zone. After this, prices just simply formed this regional supply zone up here, which was reacting on some sort of 5-minute demand zone somewhere around here. Let me just search with 5-minute demand. Yeah, it was reacting on this demand zone, as you can see. This demand zone already, I mean, this supply zone already flipped demand zone. So both of these supply zones here flipped something. This is a more valuable flip zone because, you know, it flipped a really, really valuable 15-minute zone. And this is also valuable flip because it flipped the 5-minute decisional zone, but not as valuable as the higher one. Okay, what else can be seen? That this caused the last recent flip. There is no breakout structure after this flip. So technically, this is the high point. This is the low point on the 15-minute chart. Everything that happens between this high and low will be subtraction on the 15-minute. Yeah. But we still have a chance to look for 5-minute trades. Maybe there was a reaction somewhere around here. Maybe there was a reaction somewhere around here. And if it reacted in the 5-minute demand zone, for example, let me just search for it. Technically, there was no 5-minute reaction, so it reversed in the middle of nowhere. I won't call it as a demand reaction. So it reversed in the middle of nowhere. It was a middle of nowhere reversal right here, which will be liquidity for the deeper regions. As we already know, middle of nowhere reversal will be liquidity. So what's the plan for the 15-minute chart? I mean, trend line. What do you mean trend line? Yeah. It's more liquidity. Of course, it's more liquidity. But yeah, plan for the 15-minute chart is pretty simple. Wait for a 15-minute zone tap, wait for a confirmation, target the zone here. Because, you know, this has a high chance to be broken. If you can find a good opportunity, I mean, price won't reverse back up to this supply, and it will just simply continue the way down. And if it creates a breakout structure to the downside again here, then wait for a new supply mitigation, same confirmation right here. If it can create a, you know, what do I mean? Pull back up to this supply, and it just simply continues the way down to this demand. If it flips this demand, then you can still look for shorts down to this area after a flip creation right here, and still waiting for a 1-minute confirmation. All you have to do is follow the 15-minute and higher time frame structure, which is bearish, and look for, you know, short confirmations over and over and over again. This is the repetitive progress that we are looking for in this session. And yeah, switching down to the 5-minute chart. On the 5-minute, we can still see the exact same thing technically. Let me just check something. If it was a reactional candle. Yeah, technically it was a reactional candle, but it's not valuable. And it has also formed in lunchtime. This zone is not part of the lunchtime. So this is not a lunchtime area. This isn't a lunchtime area either. So this is a chance to give a reaction for us. And you know, the 5-minute refinement inside of the zone lines up with the 50% of the 50-minute zone. The higher OB has FEG. It is more likely to get that right. It has FEG too. I mean, it has inefficiency too. So yeah, whichever zone, whichever supply gives us confirmation, we'll take it. If the lower zone can give us confirmation, we'll take it. If it can't give a confirmation but continues the way up to the higher zone, then we will take the higher zone confirmation. That's it. So same on the 5-minute chart. Exactly the same scenario as it happened on the 15-minute. If it can break structure to the downside, create a new supply, wait for the supply mitigation, blah, 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 targeting this zone. I mean, the zone here. Yeah, this is what we are targeting. If it can give a confirmation, if it can come up to this area, can come up to this new breaking structure area, and it just simply taps this zone and creates a flip, then we will take a short opportunity right here, targeting the exact same demand down here. These are the possible scenarios for this session. Now the rocket science, it's actually really fucking easy. As I said yesterday, after this Flector confirmation here, as I said yesterday, I will be looking for scalings all the way down to the swing breaker structure on the daily chart, which is here. I will be looking for these scalings. And yeah, is reacting of weak 4-hour demand. Let it be. This is a weak. This is literally liquidity. This will be broken 100% sure. It's not even a demand. I mean, technically it's a demand, but you know, it's a weak as demand. Couldn't even take out this supply. The only purpose of this demand zone was to sweep this liquidity right here and push price into this supply zone. It will be broken 100% sure. So yeah, I'm still looking for confirmations on these zones. And the reason I'm not considering this demand is simply because timeframes are fractally confirmed bearish. Daily 4-hour, 50-minute, 5-minute, 1-minute, everything is fractally confirmed bearish. Do you think that this random liquidity sweeping demand zone will be able to hold price and reverse it to the upside? No, no fucking way. Daily, 4-hour, 15-minute, 1-minute, everything is pushing down price to the swing breaker structure. So yeah, just keep looking for shorts. And yeah, technically that's it for today. That's the plan. It's really fucking simple and easy. So yeah, I will say goodbye now because I want to eat something before the session starts. So yeah, guys, feedback about this session. Feedback about this session in this feedback section would be appreciated if you could. And yeah, see you in the session. I will send the markups. I will send everything. I will be here if you have any questions. So yeah, guys, take care. I wish you a profitable and beautiful day.
Thank you, Marcel.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Marcel.
Thank you, man.
Cheers, guys.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye, 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 bye.